Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Elijah Jenkins and I'm an incoming first year at the University of Chicago. Today I'll be talking about how to tackle the UC system. If you haven't already watched my video regarding the Common App and how I got into Chicago, make sure to watch that right above. But today we're talking about how to get in some of the best public in-state schools of California. So UCLA, UC Berkeley, UCSD, and any other UC you would want to attend. Just a little warning / disclaimer, this is not a video to brag. It's just all about trying to spread awareness regarding this college application process. Personally, as a first generation student, I felt kind of blindsided at times, but being blindsided, I learned a lot. So from this whole experience, I'm hoping to give back to you all to help you guys be in the best decision when you apply. So considering the schools I applied to UCLA, UC Berkeley, UCSD, and UCSB. I was accepted 3 and waitlisted at UCSD. So I was accepted to Berkeley, UCLA, and UCSB. And just a little general knowledge, all of these schools are evaluated separately. So although it's on one singular application platform, each of these schools will independently review your application. So you want to be aware of that when you're applying. Now into some demographics. As you guys can see, I am Black and Pacific Islander. And though technically the UC system is race blind by California law, they can honestly really see your race based off your location, your name, your extracurriculars. So like, are they really race blind? I let y'all decide. I say no. I came from a private all-boys Catholic school in Arizona, first generation household, and my major was political science. And for my second option, which was available for all of them except Berkeley, was economics. Just like to make it aware that I did come from a private school, so I had access and resources that might not be available to you all. But just know that this whole process is holistic. So depending on your situation and environment, the AOs would judge you independently. So if you only had access to 4 APs, then go for those 4 APs. But if you did not, don't worry about how your application is reflecting towards mine. This is also just to spread awareness of my situation, hopefully to help you guys understand your situation. The UC system is also test blind, so up to 24, which means your SATs and ACT scores don't matter for them, but your AP scores or IB scores will be considered if you submit them. So make sure to be aware of that. Personally, these are all of the AP classes I've taken. As you can see, I did not get 4s and 5s on all of them. I had a 3 in AP Bio and a 3 in AP US History. Some people may say not to submit 3s, but I personally disagree with that because depending on your situation determines on if you want to apply and submit your AP scores or not. For instance, AP Bio, I submitted my 3 because I'm not a STEM major, and so having a 3 shows I'm grasping biology and the science, but it's not my strong suit, and I'm aware that's strong suit because that's not my major. And A Push, I also got a 3. That kind of lines up with my major, but this was during the very first COVID platform year, so AP tests were online, and I made sure to make aware of my additional info section that this test was taken during COVID year, and I didn't feel like this singular essay reflected my AP history knowledge. So make sure you guys utilize this additional info section to make your admissions officer aware of any mental health problems, injuries, or anything that caused your grades to dip, and have them understand that. Regarding grades, these are all the classes that I've taken over the 4 years. You can clearly see I did not get all A's, and hopefully you guys, just by seeing that, hopes you guys know that you don't need all A's to get into these top schools. Freshman year was kind of shaky. It's my first time adjusting to high school, and that's usual. Sophomore is where I got most of my B's, but I also injured my knee this year and from gymnastics, and I made sure to mention in my additional info section that I injured my knee and it caused my grades to drop. So if you have these type of problems that are reflecting your grades, make sure you use the additional info section because it can honestly make or break your acceptance or rejection or waitlist. But as you can clearly see, over the 4 years, my trajectory constantly went up, and admissions officers really want to see progress and you becoming better and trying to overcome your obstacles. And that's what my grades kind of reflected and showed. And another thing I also cited in my additional info section was 2 classes, was AP Environmental Science and AP Psych. And I specifically mentioned how I'd taken these classes online to show that even though I had a packed course load in school, I overachieved by taking these classes online to create more rigor in my schedule already. The UC application also allows you to submit any test grades you received from other institutions. So I submitted 2 colleges. One was from Arizona State University, and this was just a normal math class. And the second one's from the University of Pennsylvania, and that was a law and society class. A lot of people like to say that these pre-college programs from these top universities from the Ivy Leagues help your application, but honestly, they really don't help you in the way you think they do. They're not that prestigious, but they can help in your own intellectual knowledge, which will inevitably contribute to your application. Because if you're pursuing these subjects from these certain schools and you want to end up later studying these subjects, it will impact your essays and writing skills about these subjects when you apply. So when I wrote about historical essays or stuff that why I want to pursue majors, the knowledge I learned from that class heavily impacted my essay writing skills. So did it give me a leg up in the application process? No, but did it help me strengthen my application writing? Yes. So if you can't take these classes, that's okay because they're very expensive, but you should look into college prep scholarship QuestBiz and try to get these classes for free and be able to take these type of prestigious classes, some say. The next section for the UC application is awards and activities. So this gives you multiple options to submit extracurriculars and awards you won. You can personally rank these however you want, but I suggest you do strongest to weakest. My very first activity was African American Reconstruction, which was a nonprofit organization I was the marketing director of, and I basically helped program events impacting the African American community in Arizona. So clearly by that title, you can see that I was African American, so that's why I don't understand this whole race blind thing when you can clearly see from my extracurriculars. But the second one was a philanthropic organization I was a part of, and I helped raise money to be granted towards minority businesses and nonprofits, and we raised a total of $40,000 to contribute back to the community. And this was from 11th to 12th grade. My first one was also through 11th and 12th grade. My third one was an internship in the city of Phoenix, and I worked directly with the vice mayor of my district to help create programs affecting education and youth in Arizona. So we had conferences, marathons, all surrounding the idea of trying to improve educational quality in Phoenix. And this was 12th grade, so it was kind of late, and this was 5 hours a week. My very first in-school activity was the Black Student Union, and I participated this through all 4 years. So freshman year, I was a member. Then sophomore year, I became historian, secretary, and the president. So it was my very first showing depth of a club in school. And I just talked about how many members were in the club, what kind of stuff we did, and how I worked alongside other affinity spaces on campus. And this was 3 hours per week. My next activity was Culture Project, and this is a unique club at my school, and I basically created events to highlight marginalized communities on campus, so LGBTQ, BIPOC, DACA students, and just trying to raise awareness of their identities on campus. And this was 6 hours a week, and I did this through 10th, 11th, 12th grade, and was the president 12th grade. Next, I kind of jumped and did an award. So my 6th award was called the Committed to Doing Justice Award, which is a unique award for my school, and they award it to 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores, 2 juniors, 2 seniors every year to highlight their community impact on campus and the surrounding community. And make sure you guys explain what that award is in that section because sometimes it's not clear. The 7th activity I did was in school was Model United Nations, which is pretty common, and this was the 11th and 12th grade. And I wrote about specifically how I tried to increase enrollment of female students of the girls' school next door, and how I felt like this predominantly male club needed to have more female representation, which I thought was really important to talk about, and just other duties I did, like reading resolutions and stuff. A lot of these activities, I kind of wrote a sentence at the end of what I learned from it and what I wanted to do to help make that club better. I feel like that's what really helped strengthen my application because schools like UCLA, UC Berkeley really want students who are able to positively impact their school, and showing how I did that to my school was really beneficial. The next club was called the Big Brothers program. So I basically mentored freshman students and helping them transition into high school and allowing them to understand the campus better and classes better. And this was 11th and 12th grade, and I did this for 4 hours per week. My 9th club was student council, so I was a representative my junior and senior year, and just helping with events and doing the intercom and announcements and this was 6 hours per week. My 10th extracurricular was actually a class, so I was in advanced orchestra for all 4 years. So I spoke about it as an activity, and I was one of the leaders in my section, so I helped out students pick repertoire, help tuning, help them with other problems they would have within the songs. And so I kind of felt it was important that I wasn't just playing the class, I actually was like a leader. And this was 5 hours a week because it was a block schedule type of thing. My next club was my student ambassador club. So I basically gave tours and kind of just like flaunted my school to people. And the 12th award was from gymnastics. So I was a regional qualifier, and that's kind of minor, I just mentioned that. And my 13th award was from Poetry Out Loud. So this is a poetry competition in my school, and it's kind of national. And you basically just like kind of like oral interpretation of like written poems. And I completed this 9th and 10th grade. And I wasn't able to do my 11th grade because of COVID, and I made sure to mention that in my essay so they were aware of that I wanted to continue pursuing this, but I couldn't. And then my last thing was the program I did, pre-college program, so through ASU, and talked about what I did that specifically, which was relating to creating my own business proposal, working with a team, and we won 2nd place in that competition. So for the final part of the UC application process is your personal insight questions. So you're allowed to pick 4 options out of the 8 options given, and they're all equally weighted the same, which basically means you choose whichever prompt best fits your needs and best fits your application profile. So kind of be strategic in the questions you're providing. So it's all about trying to gauge what type of person you are to make you seem like a person when the reader reads your application. The very first question I chose was, every person has a creative side and it can be expressed in many ways: problem solving, original and innovative thinking, and artistically, to name a few, to describe how you express your creative side. So I personally went this approach kind of different, and I talked about how I express my creative side through YouTube. And so it's not like a one specific thing, but how through YouTube videos, learning how to crochet in 2nd grade, to learning YouTube videos of making paracord, rainbow loom, to cooking, and to now filming and photography. I've constantly had this desire to learn something that I don't know. And I kind of tied this in the end, talking about how with my own academic field that I constantly try to learn more within it, and I do this through YouTube. And I feel like that really summed up my pursuit of higher knowledge, and I think it was a good way to show the admissions officers that I really care about my education. The second one I chose was, describe the most significant challenge you have faced and the steps you have taken to overcome this challenge. How has this challenge affected your academic achievement? So this question is actually, I used part of my Common Up essay talking about which significant event I have overcame or impacted me, and I kind of tailored it to fit this specifically. So you can definitely utilize other essays you have written. And I talked about how gymnastics caused my grades to fall, but even with this problem going on in my life, I constantly try to make my academic grades best I could. So taking classes online, taking more APs, and just trying to show that academics was really something I believed in. The next one I chose was, think about an academic subject that inspires you. Describe how you furthered this interest inside or outside the classroom. So my personal interest lies around the social sciences field, so history, poli-sci, government and stuff. And so I wanted to talk about my history interests, and I kind of talked about how I took a DNA test my freshman year, and how learning about my African American heritage, my specific Islander heritage, caused me to pursue on this journey of understanding communities and their history and how that impacts them in the present day. And I went past this and talked about how when I navigate through the world, when I look at buildings, look at artifacts, flags, and anything in general, I try to understand the historic reasoning behind it to help me better understand its significance today. And I felt this is really good because it truly shows that my passions truly lie outside the classroom, and it's not something I just want to pursue in class, but it's something that I'm really interested in life in general. And I tied this in the end, just saying that I'm constantly curious, and the only way to appease my curiosity is trying to figure out what is the meaning of it. So just trying to show the AO that I'm really a nerd, and they should like me because I'm a nerd of history. And I feel like if you have any other personal insight that you're not sure on, I suggest you do this one because it truly shows why you're pursuing the major you're doing, and having the admission officer know your reasoning behind a major is really powerful because it allows them to actually see you presently on their campus, how as this specific major is going to navigate at UCLA or UC Berkeley, and it kind of gives you a sense of humanity and not just a piece of paper or screen they see online. The next question I chose is, what have you done to make your school or community a better place? So a lot of my activities are a lot community oriented, so this one kind of came easy, and I just talked about how I've impacted my school, specifically in the diversity policies and increasing African American enrollment, and how I impacted my community in Phoenix through the programs I was doing, and just trying to show that I truly want to make the community around me a better place. Colleges really love when you have a passion you're interested in and pursue it outside to help out others. And the reason why they like this kind of stuff because they want these people at their schools. They want to know who, if they admit, will be able to impact their school better and leave a better place when they're gone. So this is what I did, try to show what I could offer them. It's not always about what you can gain from them, but what you can give them. And so just remember that when you're doing this, they want you. You don't need them as much as you want you, because the school does not define you. It is you as an individual who defines yourself. And through this essay, I just want to show that I define where I am at, and you'd be lucky to have me. So this is everything I have regarding my UC application. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to drop in the comments. I have some resources in the description box as well, so make sure you use that and utilize it. But just know that this whole system is a lottery at times, and the only thing you have control of is what you submit, and just try to make what you submit the best you can do. And that is what this video is also just trying to teach you guys, that no matter where you end up, hopefully it's one of these schools that you guys want to go to. You put your best foot forward, and that's all you can do. Have a great day, guys, and if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Peace.